Where the tattoo at? It wasn't a real tattoo. It was fake. I'm just playing. It's right here, boo. My man's still right there, boo. He's still there, boo-boo. It wasn't fake. It's a real tattoo. Ooh-wee. Papoose, I should have got it twice. Papoose. Get on my booty next. I'm going to get it right here. Papoose. Talking about some where Pap at. Y'all be saying he upstairs. He'll be at the fight. He'll be at the fight.
We unpack. We unpack, coming to you live, Boxingego Unpacked, yeah. We unpack. We unpack, coming to you live. Make sure you follow me on Instagram. The link is in the description. But FaceshotLiaa, she tagged me in some posts, right? Training video where she's doing some work with a male trainer, right? And you can see he's sending some real shots. Right? And he weighs 208 pounds. She says, not only can I dish it out, I can take it. What females you know going this live, no headgear, male boxer that outweighs them by 50 pounds. Definitely not Claressa Shields. She ran and got a poker and made excuses about gloves after a low tier, small 140-pound male boxer that doesn't hit hard and hit harder than this 200-pound boxer dropped her. It's the FaceshotLiaa show. Wait till I catch her. Wow. As promised, look right here. So Claressa Shields, when she did that video and she was like, I'm a good street fighter and all that on the treadmill. After that, she put ZEUS Network, LIAA, she want to get smoked. What's up? Right? This was before she announced the K. Scott fight. Pay attention. So immediately when I seen this, before she announced who she's fighting, before we found out K. Scott, the undercard, I was wondering why she was tagging Lemuel and ZEUS Network. But now I think I know. Stay tuned. As this video develops, you'll understand. But anyway, she says she want to get smoked. What's up, ZEUS Network? She responded to somebody. I am 31 in my prime. This girl will get demolished by me. Right? So doing call out videos, tagging ZEUS, tagging the owner of ZEUS, saying she want to get smoked, saying I'm here for you in Atlanta, right? You did all that, and then come to find out, look right here. Nisha said, laughing my ass off, not talking all that and getting blocked by you. Wow. FaceshotLiaa confirms. Kitty, she's soft as cotton, right? And she actually has proof of this on her page that Claressa Shields end up blocking her. She confirms it again. Caption reads, swipe left. Like I said, Lil Claressa Shields not effing with me in a street fight or MMA fight. Pillow hands and pillow heart. She got on my page woofing, calling me out because the world was giving me my props being a naturally gifted fighter. And then I called her out for a street fight or MMA fight in response. And she made a video about me, the one on the treadmill, saying, quote, street fighting mother, can't do nothing with her. After that, fire got hot. She ain't expect me to clap back and for the world to be pulling for me. So she blocked me. You see it right there. She blocked me. Wow. crying emoji. Shout out to Amanda Serrano and Montez. Montez is the girl who beat her in the MMA, right? So they've been showing her love. She said, for showing me love and following me. These are two real fighters who not going to start something they not going to want to finish. And outside of the testimonial from FaceshotLiaa, proof that Claressa blocked her is I have a screenshot of this conversation in my video, right? It's all documented. And you could go watch that video on my page. And now you look, it says null, meaning the person blocked you. Because before it said Claressa Shields, right? It showed her actual social media. But now being blocked, it says no. And she said this too. I've never been washed by a dang soul in my life. How is losing split decision in MMA a foreign sport to me? At the time considered being washed. A bit. You can't do a thing with me. You look as stupid on here. Where your belts at? Please enlighten me. Tomato can. Girl, I will put belt to I promise you. Just like my homegirl Hannah Gabriel's did in y'all boxing match. Now imagine bare knuckle, little gang. Kiss emoji. I never been on the floor. You touch that canvas a lot. That chin ain't ready. So again, you got a look, Claressa being who she is. She blocked her. And you see in the first screenshot from her, it showed Claressa's name, but now it says no because she got blocked. So she's telling the truth. Right? And this is the girl that beat Claressa in the MMA, who was doing like the ground and pound. And Claressa was it was towards the end of the round, and Claressa was just getting dog walked on her back. Right? That girl started following FaceshotLiaa. Amanda Serrano also showed her love and said, salute, queen. You are the truth, baby girl. Someone sent me a clip of you fighting. I am loving it. Whatever I can help with, I'm here. I'm part of MVP Promotions. If you ever need me, just holla. Keep it going, girl. Hashtag salute. So, yeah. It's looking bad for Claressa Shields because all of your ops, see how you see Claressa was the one that left these comments. You see her profile picture, but on the screen grabs, the later ones, after she blocked her, it said no, right? But the message is the same. Very, very bad look for Claressa Shields. Now, don't say I didn't warn you. Here's why I say bad look. Because, for one, Claressa Shields put herself in kind of a no-win scenario, right? Where you got on jaw-jacking talking about how you would love a street fight with a known street fight bare-knuckle girl, right? And she called your bluff. So there really wasn't any upside for you. You're the bigger name. You're the accomplished two-time gold medalist. And if you watch my content, I spoke on it. I was like, Claressa Shields not having any type of restraint and the ability to like pull back and hold back and not respond to some things, she's going to make herself look bad. Because in that scenario, one, you accept the fight and fight her, and then now you're in her arena. So if you lose, that would look bad, right? Even if you were to win, people would be like, okay, you beat somebody who wasn't a quote unquote pro fighter, a street fighter. So I don't know how much credit you would have got necessarily beating a 23-year-old. Even though I wanted to see the fight, I'm just going off of how the public might have received it, right? And then the third option, which is the option that ended up being, is you did all this talking about how you're a street fighter and you could take it to the mat, you could do it wherever, you're ready and willing, pull up to Atlanta and come see me, I'll beat the brakes off of you. And then after delays and postponements, you finally announced the fight. So you had to have known that you were going to fight Kay Scott. In fact, Michaela Mayer already had an interview before this beef and back and forth with FaceshotLiaa saying you were going to fight Kay Scott. And it predates you arguing with her. So you knew you were fighting Kay Scott, Yet you did that treadmill video and these posts tagging ZEUS, tagging FaceshotLiaa, and saying, yo, we can meet wherever it's good. Pull up. You know what I mean? And I told you it didn't really make sense. Why are you going to do all that if you're not really about all that? You know what I mean? So, yeah, things are looking very ugly for Claressa Shields. And all you had to do is exercise some restraint and leave the underground female Kimbo Slice alone and then not pay any attention. But you're so thin-skinned that you can't do that. You can't just allow people to call you out without having to respond, even if it's to your detriment, where you end up looking bad in the process too. Now, what you've done is you turned FaceshotLiaa into a bit of an urban legend, because now she's booming, right? She hit 100K. When I interviewed her, she wasn't at 100K, right? But now she hit it, right? And I did the interview with her. All of a sudden, everybody else is interviewing her too, and the brand is bubbling. She's doing numbers. And now you've turned, and this is what I was telling you. Claressa wants to be a content creator, right? But she doesn't really know how to move in the industry. When you focus on negativity, when you focus on people bad-mouthing you, calling you out, you turn your own fans onto their brand. Whereas if you didn't respond, maybe people wouldn't have found out about this girl. But now look, she got another interview, right? Now she's being interviewed and she can easily say, yo, I pulled up, I never backed down. Claressa put out all these videos like she really wanted it with me. And then she went and ran to fight K. Scott. And now she's going to run around probably saying, I got ducked by y'all GWOAT. And it's hard to argue with her. So you put yourself in a no-win situation trying to be tough. If you're a boxer, be a boxer, right? Remain a boxer, stay a boxer, cool. If she kept it real, I wouldn't have no problem with that. If she said, girl, bye, I'm an Olympic boxer, 2-time gold medalist, I make millions of dollars, I'm not worried about being in the street fight, that's not my bag. Cool, respects. I wouldn't have said nothing about it. But when you get on the horn in that treadmill video and subsequent social media posts, and you're tagging her, you're on her page, and you're saying, yo, we could do it wherever, you know, pull up, meet me at the park. Now people are wanting to see it. Now you are complicit, right? Before, from afar, you could have just let her call you out and that would have been that. And it would have probably died down. But you breathe new light into it. And now you got this girl popping. And now she can easily say, Claressa Shields don't want it with me in an MMA or a street fight, right? So Claressa's brand continues to plummet. The fall off be mean. And remember, I've been telling you guys, Claressa Shields, out of all pro athletes, probably has the worst digital footprint, meaning the paper trail, the breadcrumbs she's left on digital platforms, social media, YouTube, the internet, right? So your word means very little at this point. You say your due date for your fight announcement is this date, we push it off for months, finally came out after you've been raving that it was a big announcement, and most people don't feel it was a big announcement, nor did you stick to your initial dates. You call out FaceshotLiaa and said we could get it rocking for a street fight, and then you don't street fight her, and then you run off and say, hey, I'm fighting in State Farm Arena versus a 5-1-1 42-year-old. So you could have fought a 23-year-old in the street fight, right, after you did the baddies judging. Now, that's the other thing. Speaking of baddies judging, another thing that makes Claressa look bad, here's my post. Claressa Shields undercard to feature ZEUS Network's pound for pound baddie showdown. So Krishan Rock's sister and some girl named Big Lex are fighting on her undercard. So you have ZEUS that are behind and got a fight on the undercard of your next fight with K. Scott, right? So when we're talking about you fighting a street fight, don't act like you're too good for it, or the GWOAT stands. Don't act like she's too good to be in a street fight, because one, she put out a statement, an open invitation that any chick that thinks they could whoop her, she'll give them $100K. And I think she was trying to get it picked up by ZEUS Network to have it as a pilot for a show, right? Which I don't think that played out. Now you got baddies. This is a street fight. These aren't pro fighters. She got a baddies chain, right? So these are reality TV stars, and you have no problem with these reality TV star influencer type people who aren't trained professionals fighting on your undercard. So don't act like you're above it fighting FaceshotLiaa, right? When you have the baddies fight and a baddies championship belt on your fight card, and you offered $100K to any girl that could beat you. So yeah, Claressa continues to fall from grace and look bad. You look bad. You're judging for baddies, which I think was a bad look, right? And then now you're being called out by a ton of people, and then you finally arrive at K. Scott in a fight that nobody requested because the girl's resume is 5-1-1 and she's 42 years old, right? I truthfully, in my heart of all hearts, would have rather you fought FaceshotLiaa, because at least it would have been a new style and there's some entertainment value, and I'm sure it would be a better buildup. Nobody asked for you to fight a 42-year-old soccer mom from Australia with a 0% knockout ratio. You only have 3 knockouts and she only has 0, right? So between all your fights, you guys got 3 knockouts between the two of you, and you're hoping to sell out 20K in State Farm Arena. Good luck with that. Now, back to what I was saying about Claressa Shields and her digital footprint. A lot of these Gen Z celebrities, they act like the internet, cameras, microphones don't exist, and they can just say all these things and people aren't going to check them. People aren't going to look into it. People aren't going to have a rebuttal or remember what you said. So not only did you say you would have a street fight with FaceshotLiaa and win, even though that's her forte, right? Boom. You said it to CRIS CYBORG. This is on Google. Claressa Shields has boldly claimed she would beat up CRIS CYBORG in a street fight. Right? So, yeah, they're calling your bluff in a major way, right? They're calling your bluff. CRIS CYBORG says she would box you. You're on record saying you were not interested in an MMA fight, and you also said on the Gilly podcast that Papoose, your boyfriend, doesn't want you to fight MMA, but you put out a statement saying you're not interested in an MMA fight with CRIS CYBORG, but you would F her up in a street fight. So when are you going to make good on the trash talk coming out of your mouth, right? Right here. Last year, you said you would beat up CRIS CYBORG. And then she, even though she's an MMA fighter, she offered to come to your sport where she has a better record than K. Scott. Near identical amount of fights, but she has more knockouts. So not only will you not fight her in an MMA, after you said you would F her up in a street fight, you're not making good on the street fight. And then she offered you $2 million and keep harassing and tagging you and whatnot. I believe you blocked her too. And she's calling you out for a fight in boxing, and you won't even do that. So again, yeah, this looks bad because I would have rather seen you fight FaceshotLiaa or CRIS CYBORG. At least these women have power, right? So anytime you're dealing with people who possess a lot of power and determination and a bit of ruggedness and willpower, it automatically will make a fight that much more interested, because you could be as skilled as possible, but your life, to me, looks to be all over the place. I don't know what's going on with your relationship. It looks like there's trouble in paradise there too. So if you fight a big puncher and you're not mentally all put together, things of that sort, those types of fights could get very interesting. Now, you could argue Claressa's a very skilled fighter, so it's going to be hard to outskill her. But in boxing, styles make fights. There's been a lot of people, like Adrian Broner has more skill than Maidana, but Maidana beat him and hurt him. So anytime you're dealing with a massive puncher, you run that risk of, if you fall asleep at the wheel, they can clock you. They can get you out of there, that type of thing. So yeah, don't act like you're above street fighting when we know you've done the MMA fights and you keep talking about how you would be willing to street fight FaceshotLiaa and CRIS CYBORG, right? So Claressa Shields continues to be all over the place and really landing nowhere. You're landing nowhere. You are making a bunch of threats. All these YouTubers, I'm going to sue them, send them cease and desist letters. I'm going to street fight with street fighters like FaceshotLiaa, and then it gets heated. She never backs down, so you block her. CRIS CYBORG calling you out. You said you were a street fighter. She offered you $2 million. You don't want to do that, but then you arrive on K. Scott. Come on, man. Come on. This looks pathetic. How, out of all these available, like, okay, I did want to see Mikaela Mayer. Fine, she's fighting Chantel Cameron because she has an actual promoter who knows how to promote an MVP. So they lined that up for a big UK card. Fine, she's not available. Still got other options. And the GOAT stands are running out of excuses. Everything I'm saying in this video is valid. Cool. No Mikaela Mayer. Why not CRIS CYBORG? For whatever reason, no CRIS CYBORG. Oh, you can't be like, oh, CRIS CYBORG's too old. I already went over that yesterday. CRIS CYBORG's 40. The person on the screen, K. Scott, who you are fighting, is older than CRIS CYBORG. These are the games that Claressa and her fans continue to play, right? When she was trying to beef with LAILA Ali, she was calling LAILA Ali old, right? LAILA Ali is 40 years old, 48 years old. Boom. LAILA Ali, 48 years old, December 30th, 1977. Papoose, 48 years old, born in March, so a couple months later in March. So they're the same age basically, right? And you're with this married older man, yet in your mind, your Flintwater mind, you try to like age shame LAILA Ali only to get with someone who was born within months of LAILA Ali's birthday. This girl, I told you, she doesn't think. She just puts out a bunch of foolishness. And then if we're trying to age shame people, look at how this 48-year-old looks. She, in my opinion, looked younger than Claressa Shields, who's only 31. And that's when you eat healthy. You're not with a married man. I mean, you're with a married man because you're married to him, right? You're taking care of yourself. You're not arguing with fans. Yeah. So yeah, you tend to maintain your looks, and you got good Ali genes, obviously, right? This was her a couple years ago during the pandemic or right after, right? So you try to embarrass her by calling her old, but your current man is the same age as her. Makes no sense. And then people are saying he ain't got no job and he mooching off of you. You know what I mean? This woman has businesses and it looks like her life put together. Meanwhile, your stuff is all over the place, right? So from targeting boxing royalty like LAILA Ali calling her old only to get with somebody who's not in the prime of their career. You're giving them a job. Commentary. Like, what boxing fans, and why his hairline look like this here, but then when Claressa Shields posts him, the hairline magically look rejuvenated and filtered. So many questions, man. So how is his hairline looking like this? Looking like Pras from the Fugees. I spent 90 degrees under napalm trees, smoking BDs as I burn my calories. Why he look like this here, years before he even met you, but then when Claressa posts a picture of him, all of a sudden he looks like he turned back the clock and he looks 12 years old. He look like 18 years old. I'm not understanding that. But yeah, everything Claressa Shields says is usually virtually like the opposite. I'll street fight you and then block the person instead of street fighting them, right? She continues to say, oh, you YouTubers keep lying on me. But she won't tell you what the YouTubers are lying about, right? You called LAILA Ali old at 48, but then you're fighting a 42-year-old going on 43. They virtually probably could have went to school at the same time, right? So you don't even know how to trash talk at all because you don't think. I could tell, like, this sounds weird, but Claressa Shields has been open that she used to get bullied, and I can see it. I can see that you got bullied because you now that you fight and now that you're big, now that you have money, you try to become the bully, right? And you're not witty. Like a bully might make everyone in class laugh at your expense. You try to do that to people now, but you're not good enough with your words because you didn't start talking until you were like 9 or 10 years old. So it doesn't even come across right. Try to age shame LAILA Ali only to get with a married man who still has a tattoo of his wife on his forearm, still won't pick up his clothes. You're like, oh, he's in the process of getting a divorce. When's that going to be? It's been over a year, right? Still won't scrub her from his social media. And then he says, I might need it for court. And you just believe all this stuff. And then you want to lash out at everybody else who's calling it out and make these blanket statements that YouTubers are lying on you. And notice this. Where are your sponsors at? Snack, okay. Unfortunately, I live in the Bay Area. Well, not unfortunately for that, but I love the Bay. Unfortunately, the founder of Snack passed away not too long ago. So I don't know how that program even works now, but it says Win Records and Snack. Where are your other patches? Where's Gatorade, Coca-Cola, Wheaties, right? You are a gold medalist. How come you don't have, you're a 2-time gold medalist. Look at this. How come you don't have major sponsorship and brand deals? Because if you did, surely we would know about them because you would have to promote them. Who's going to just give you a bag and pay all this money and then it's behind closed doors and they don't want nothing from it, right? They don't want you to ever wear their logo. They don't want you to wear a Tesla logo. See this picture right here? This is an old picture when she was focused. It says Dole. Where's Dole at now? Are they still sponsoring you? Because I haven't seen none of these patches. Where's the Dole sponsorship? Where's Under Armour, Adidas? Almost every other major athlete, like Conor McGregor and these people, they got sponsorships. Looks like at one point you had them, or at least you were starting to have some, like Dole. You see this big patch? But now all we see is Win Records. Probably because you're with a married man. I mean, that's one thing. Who wants to sponsor somebody and represent the brand and people are calling you a mistress, an adulterer, and a side piece? that is not necessarily a good look for their brand. So that's why if you look at her current, and now after I made this video, her team will probably rush out, try to land her some sponsorships. But the other issue they're going to run into is, you think AT&T wants a person like Claressa Shields, who's cussing out fans, calling them broke, calling them miserable people, telling them being broke in 2026 is a choice and they need to do something about it, calling people ugly, calling people bald-headed, fat shaming and body shaming people, right? Do you think AT&T and big cellular companies, big companies like Netflix want to put their brand on a tightrope by messing with Claressa Shields, where you don't know the next thing that's going to come out of her mouth, if it's going to be good or bad? And if you had to take an educated guess, you can almost guess that it's going to be bad, right? Man, this girl really hurt her career. And now you got baddies, you got baddies fighting on your undercard. You're supposed to be the face of boxing in your world. That's what you're telling people. You're saying you're the face of women's boxing. You did everything for women's boxing. And what is it doing for women's boxing to be a baddies judge, one of the most trashiest ghetto ratchet shows that are available, and then bringing that to a boxing atmosphere, State Farm Arena, and that's what you're treating the people of Atlanta to, the AT aliens, right? A night out of you fighting a girl with 7 fights that's 42 and no power, mixed in some ghetto madness from Baddies and ZEUS Network, and you call that being a great ambassador and representative of the sport of boxing. I don't see the vision. I don't see how that helps, right? Meanwhile, your counterparts, they on Netflix, right? Amanda Serrano, Katie Taylor on Netflix. MVP did a deal with Sky Sports. MVP has another deal with ESPN, right? Alicia Baumgartner, who you assaulted, she was on ESPN. You came out hating on her, right? Everybody else, notice everybody else seemingly having a glow up, right? Minus Claressa Shields. Right here, you have Michaela Mayer, who used to be signed to Bob Arum in Top Rank, now with MVP Promotions, as you see in her bio. And look, Sports Illustrated, Female Fighter of the Year, Michaela Mayer, right? So she's being honored. Look, the great LAILA Ali in the comments. Top Rank, her old promoter. Reporter, Ellie Seckback, right? Actress and boxer, K.O. Reese, right? Franchon Cruz, Sky Nicholson, right? Oh, she in them flicks. Yeah, shout out to Ken. Yeah, we didn't see her work. Okay. But anyway, she's being honored. Female Fighter of the Year, right? Dressed up. Look, Claressa Shields wearing wigs and all this stuff. You got Michaela Mayer wearing heels, a dress, at the Boxers Writer Association being honored for Female Fighter of the Year. Look, helicopter flights to avoid New York traffic. This is an MVP fighter who Claressa Shields said, oh, I don't need MVP. They can't do nothing for me. But they're taking helicopter rides and being honored just to beat New York traffic and not have to sit in that. And being honored from, look at that view is crazy. You know what I mean? That looks sick. So yeah, congratulations to Michaela Mayer. But even in terms of the actual fight game, look, her promoter actually promoting the fight. They got interviews on Sky Sport. I believe this is that, right? So they're being interviewed. She has her fight announced. She's doing photo shoots, like just real fighter stuff, real boxer stuff. It don't look ratchet. Look, commentary gigs. They got her on the mic. Like, come on. She's in El Paso, where the most valuable letterman doing commentary. Right? So you're getting to travel for work when you're not training, probably pick up a paycheck for, who's that? For doing commentary. Right? You get to be with your peers. I mean, these other female fighters, they look like they living life. They look like they enjoying stuff. Look, photo shoots. But back to the boxing stuff, she has an actual fight right here. And look, Nikisa promoting the fight. Saturday, August 29th, Michaela Mayer. Look, they got trailers for it. I ain't seen no trailer for K. Scott and Claressa Shields yet. I ain't seen no press conference, right? But you said you didn't need MVP. But to me, it looks like they taking care of their fighters, even the female fighters, right? Pre-sale tickets, very organized. Got some sponsors at the bottom. Headlining in UK. Look, Sky Sports. It looked real set up. Then Amanda Serrano, she making $9-10 million in one of the KD Taylor fights at the New York Knicks games, right? Real New Yorker, unlike Claressa Shields, who's fake talking with a New York accent since she got with Papoose, talking about call me and all y'all, right? When did you get an accent? Amanda Serrano, while Claressa Shields is sneak dissing and hating, she's on Time Magazine. So again, networking, being with the right people, being showcased, getting the proper exposure, branding themselves. Look, LAILA Ali back. And speaking of LAILA Ali, when Claressa was beefing, she was playing clips showing how she was gaming up Claressa Shields on how to market and brand herself, because she's actually classy and she grew up in a boxing household, obviously, since her dad is the most famous boxer ever, Muhammad Ali, right? This is good branding. Being on Time Magazine, most influential, top 100 people. Michaela Mayer being at the Boxing Writers Association and Female Fighter of the Year for Sports Illustrated, right? Donning the Puerto Rican flag. That's how you represent the island, represent where you're from. Claressa Shields, man, she's a whole missed opportunity. You had a great story being from Flint, and you could have went the right way and showed everybody, hey, I was bullied and I made my way out of it. But now you want to be the bully. You don't want to be a good-hearted person. You want to be a mean girl. Every time Amanda Serrano currently has any level of success, there you go hating on her, right? You right there to hate on her and or ignore it. And you'll talk about everything else but Amanda Serrano, right? Same thing with Alicia Baumgardner. But these people are at the Knicks playoff games, and as I said, it looks like they got recognition. People are coming out to see them. They're being treated well by their promoter, coming out in nice outfits. What? Like, what are we talking about? Look, MVP tagging them, giving them exposure. They got a network deal. Look, the face of women box. Look at all the females. And Claressa said, oh man, I don't need to be over there. But MVP's female roster alone, not even including any men that they have, looks like a dang yearbook photo of the whole class. And Claressa Shields was like, oh, none of these girls can whoop me. And even at one point, she took this picture and then superimposed herself over her nemesis, Serrano and Baumgardner, and said she was the face of boxing, and then said a fan sent me this. I don't believe her at all. I think she sent her that. because I think she's a jealous-hearted person. I'm trying to tell you, I believe Claressa Shields is a whole 30 for 30 waiting, you know, waiting to happen. And she's going to be a cautionary tale. It looks like you're getting exiled out the game. You could try to block whoever you want. You could try to denigrate whoever you want. But this stuff is making you look bad. Look, Ronda Rousey got paid with MVP. Serrano, Bumgardner, Gina Carano. Look, everybody stunning and beautiful. And you out here trying to keep up with the Joneses with these Shein outfits, with these rainbow outfits, with these like cheap looking outfits. And you're trying to compete, but you're not classy and you're not making yourself likable at all. There's nothing likable about how Claressa Shields has been moving. Nothing. Right? And then on top of that, you're getting yourself in worse positions because you gotta have the last word, right? FaceshotLiaa says something, you gotta respond. You can't just be like, all right, I'm worth millions. I got a K Scott fight coming up. Let me ignore this Street Fighter. You gotta clap back. And then again, like I mentioned, you doing all that was gonna hurt you. And I was 100% right. It has hurt you because you're not even good for your word. You're saying you'll fight a Street Fighter, and then when it comes down to it, you're not willing to fight the Street Fighter. So you look bad. And then days later, you announce a fight with no power, a person with no power. And this is what you're trying to sell the public and hope that they buy. Now, I want to mention something else I noticed about Claressa Shields. I don't know if we want to call it imposter syndrome, but I've been on record telling you guys, I personally believe she is a copycat. And what's weird is you would think that people would copy from those that they like, right? But what I notice is Claressa seems to copy whether she likes you or if you're her quote unquote op and she doesn't like you. Juju, Remy Ma, right? And she's like pulling these different pieces, and I don't know what the reason is. I don't know if it's a subconscious thing. Like maybe she doesn't realize she's doing it, but I'm very observant, so I notice it. I see everything. Let me give you some examples. Now, Claressa Shields said she had a big fight announcement and was going to announce it last Tuesday. She lied about the date, right? I did a live, and you'll see it on screen. My title, look closely. Claressa Shields, where is your fight announcement? And me being funny, I said, ah, ha, 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 right? That was the title. Now, if you look at it, go to the video, still up. This was on June 23rd. Look at the title. Claressa, where's your fight announcement? Ah, ha, 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 June 23rd. The very next day, she finally announces her fight, June 24th. Now, what did she put? Happy fight announcement day. See y'all August 15th. My first fight in Atlanta. Ah, ha, 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 ha. Which is almost identical to what I said, questioning where the announcement was because she was indeed late. Now, mind you, this girl is like, oh, you YouTubers are lying on me. But per usual, I show receipts. So I found that highly coincidental. Now, I'm not going to even bore you with the copying of Remy because I've already talked about that. But here's another one I noticed. During that weird announcement, she started randomly playing Drake and literally copying all the lyrics from Drake and repeatedly saying it.
Huh? Cutting ties with all my friends. Fakies. What I'm saying, huh? Huh? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? What's done is done. You know what I'm saying? Huh? Yeah.
Weird. You know what I'm saying? But this is what I really want y'all to pay attention to. What she says next.
And get your tickets. Mrs. Belt to what's up? Mrs. Belt to
Now, I had to censor it, but what she said, if you watch the original, I mean, you could pretty much tell there, but if you don't believe me, go watch it. She said, Mrs. Belt to what's up? Funny thing is, remember the Street Fighter we talked about earlier that called out Claressa and had the whole exchange that Claressa blocked? FaceshotLiaa, look in her bio, that's literally her nickname, Miss BTA, which stands for Belt to literally what she goes by, and she's a viral street fighting sensation. Now, all of a sudden, Claressa Shields is going by the same moniker of the girl that she was just beefing with. Weird. Even if you search on Google and type Miss BTA, Leah comes up. That's how known she is for that. If that wasn't enough, when I interviewed her, that's what I introduced her as, because this is a known thing. Play the clip. Okay, I'm going to show the fans a little short montage of our guest, Miss Belt to of you, right? So let me play the clip. Hey, what's good? How are you doing?
I'm good, feeling good, ready to take Claressa through there. Oh, guys, she ain't had no real opponents yet. All the girls be scared of her. She met her match today.
Hold on, how you come in dumping already? Hold on, we got to back it up. Tell the people who you are, in case they're not familiar.
Carol. We're putting on for North Carolina, out of Texas, Fort Worth, Texas. FaceshotLiaa. Y'all make sure y'all go follow me on all platforms. You know, we popping it big. So ain't ducking no smoke, been calling her name. She just now responding. Like what a real woman feel like. I'm gonna show you some real fish, some real power.
Let me see that knuckle again.
Come on now. This is bullets. These not even knuckles no more, they bullets.
But Claressa on the treadmill, she was saying we can get down on some street fight stuff.
For sure, that's what I want.
And you would be down to do that?
For sure, yes.
Okay, so I'm gonna give you the floor. You got a minute. Let me know, Claressa Shields. Give us your final comments on what it is.
What's up, Claressa? This is Leah Carroll. I'm coming for you. On God, MMA style. Let's get it. I don't care about none of that. No belt, no accolades, no golden gloves, no none of the Olympics, no none of that shit in the past. Let's get it now. Let's get it popping. Nobody worry about no belts. I done got in the ring with a girl that won golden gloves and put belt to her. Like ain't nobody worried about no belt. Only belt you should be worried about is the one I'm finna put to your behind. Oh God.
Oh wow. And you said, girl, I will put belt to
tickets. Mrs. Belt to
So again, this behavior is really weird from Claressa Shields. You go to the girl's page, talk all this crap about her, say you want to fight her in a street fight, do all this hooting and hollering and ranting, then you announce your real boxing fight that has no plans to do with her after you said, ZEUS, line it up and meet me in Atlanta. And then now you're stealing her nickname, Miss Belt to Wow. Rissa. I'm surprised that more people aren't calling this stuff out and holding her accountable. This is just weird behavior. Popping out with wigs and hair and colors and costumes and outfits that look like Remy Ma, Remy's circle of friends, Juju, stealing people's name, you know, swagger jacking and biting people's drip, their slang, their accent. Like, there has to be some type of diagnosis for whatever this is that causes Claressa Shields to continue to copy a bunch of people, including the people she tells you she despises, right? Blocked me, but then you're copying me. Blocked FaceshotLiaa, but then you're copying her. Actually, Remy Ma put out a tweet, said you blocked her too, and then somehow you're copying her. And people are saying you're showing up with burner accounts. This behavior needs to be studied, man. Now, keep it with the subject of Remy. She had posted this and said, wait for what? It's time. This New your city. French Max B. Remy. Had a lot of people wondering what it was about, but I believe it was later revealed when she put her new single out, Put 'Em On. You can go to Spotify or on YouTube. Right on the YouTube platform is on Remy Ma's page. Now, I did listen to the song. It's cool. It's catchy. You know, kind of something for the radio, for the women. It is. Now, I don't know. This was subliminal like Remy does, but there was a line in the beginning of the song, in the first verse, that could have been aimed at Claressa and Papoose. She said something to the effect that I got him real ist, Pissed. I got him real ist. I heard B sending shots. Too bad you missed, something to that effect, right? And the rest of the song, the chorus is about, I heard ninjas spending money, but I'm gonna put my B's on. You know what I mean? So again, I gotta censor it, but you guys can go listen to the real version and the uncensored version. So I don't know. I don't know if that was aimed at Papoose, got him real PO'd, right? And women taking shots, chickens taking shots. That might have been at Claressa. But either way, let's talk about it. Remy is winning, destroying Papoose, destroying Claressa Shields. You heard? Now, the clips you've been watching was from Remy. She went live, and you see she get, hit it. Ooh, chest bounce. Ooh, slide. Slide. Clap. Yeah. Oh, take it back now. Bring it back now. So, I imagine she's working on her steps, her choreography for this particular song, maybe for a music video. I don't know. I just screen recorded this real quick, and you know, it looked like she's working on a dance number, I would imagine, for this particular song. Go ahead, Rem. So imagine being Papoose. You see your wife, and she out here backing it up, got these girls, got a new song again, another new song, interviewing Spike Lee, looking good, body looking T, right? Look like she's just enjoying life, for real, right? Doing choreography. And look at how Remy moves. She moves like an actual female. That's one complaint that I got about Claressa Shields, because with Claressa Shields, she don't move smooth. Like, look, boo, bow, little footwork. Like, Remy is from the streets too, but she don't move all rough and I rock rough and stuff with my afro puffs. Again, let's watch Remy. Ooh, step back. Ooh, move. You see, dip, slide, lecture slide, clap. You know what I mean? Ooh, chest bouncing, get bouncy, getting jiggy with it, right? That's Remy Ma practicing a dance number. And we know Claressa Shields practiced many times on that Lil' Kim, and she was moving a lot different. Look at Claressa Shields right now. Look, like Busta Rhymes or something, moving like you dance like a construction worker. You know what I mean? But uppercut. You know what I mean? Ooh, yoga flame. You know, it was like Street Fighter moves. The twerk is horrible. You getting all in the mic. You getting the b-boy stance. Like, what is this even? You know what I mean? What? Back to Rim. Let's get back to Rim. Yeah, she just moving demure. Put some like seductive moves up in there. Some sex appeal. Got the little sweats. Like, she ain't even trying hard. You seen when Claressa did it, she was moving all crazy with a denim shorts and denim fit. Remy is in like, you know, dance routine type of clothes. It's a difference, man. You can't teach someone how to be a lady. I don't know nothing about Claressa's upbringing other than what's been documented, but she just don't seem to possess that. Like, she'll eat and she'll be smacking food on her face, food on her mouth open, and she's eating like the Last Supper. And I'm like, what's going on? Who taught you that? Were you raised by wolves? She eating like Mowgli from the Jungle Book or something. Like she was raised by wolves and bears. It's the bare necessities, Mother Nature's recipe. You know what I mean? I'm not getting it. I just don't get it. So yeah, I think it is safe to say that Papoose made a mistake. You have a child with Remy Ma. It looked like you really love Remy Ma. You got a tat ink of Remy Ma. Claressa Shields, it reminds me of what Remy said to begin with. You're just his latest come up. That's how he treats Claressa Shields to me, like a come up. Like it's almost like a form of punishment to have to hang around her too long. Like you notice outside of work related events, it don't seem like he's even with her for any serious length of time. Like maybe the longest is Aruba and that's because once you out there, you out there, you know what I mean? Unless you're gonna fly back or something. So it looked like he don't enjoy her company to me. That's just my personal opinion. I don't know what he has to say. And I've been saying it for a minute. It definitely looks like something is up now because every post that he even makes about this girl, Claressa, it seems very work related. Claressa told me she was going to beat up a girl and she did. Heck yeah, quote. Like that don't sound like some boyfriend, soon to be husband and all the stuff Claressa Shields be talking about. Let Claressa tell it. She said, oh, this cat got him hostage. He was going downtown on me last night. He wants to have multiple babies with me. He wants to get married. He's obsessed with me. Claressa will say these things, but we're not really seeing no indication of that outside of her saying it. You know what I mean? And I believe Claressa Shields is naive, very immature, very young-minded, and she's not fully developed. You may be in a adult body, but mentally I don't think she's fully developed because you want to take tactics that may work for you in boxing, like being a brute or being barbaric and not taking no for an answer. That could work in boxing, right? If a girl's providing resistance and you're fighting her and you never back down and you just keep coming forward and rushing her and she get tired, you know, you can have a lot of success in a boxing ring. But when you're doing everything wrong and you're doing some self-sabotaging things in your career and people are warning you, whether you want to hear it or not, the bloggers, YouTubers, fans, they're all telling you about yourself and you refuse to heed any of these warnings, yeah, now that's a different predicament. It's not going to work quite the same as in a boxing ring. So I just believe Claressa really messed up her career, man. Talented fighter, very good fighter, accomplished fighter. But now with all the antics, the yelling, the screaming, arguing with fans, berating fans, talking down, like I got a Corvette. How many times you got to tell us you're pretty? How many times you got to tell us you have a Corvette and it's a 2026? How many times do you have to show the Corvette? How many times do you have to show a receipt from the LV store or drop and name drop these designer brands? Man, I got home and they sent me a book. It was a $20 book. Van Cleef and Parcels, and that's not even what it's called. So you, in an attempt to flex and stun on people and act and appear bougie, you still sound Flint. You still sound ghetto. You're trying to name drop a bunch of names and you're not even successful with that because you don't even know how to enunciate the designer brands that you're talking about. So yeah, Claressa's career to me, it just looks a whole mess. And like I said, Remy Ma, she dropped the dead weight in Papoose and had a whole glow up, looking better, rapping on point, putting out singles that the people are feeling and rocking with. You have interviews with Spike Lee now, interviews on Good Morning New York and all these shows. Nick's Parade on the float rapping. And I want you guys to really think about what I'm about to say. Remy Ma is a female MC in a male-dominated art form, right? There's probably more big-name male rappers historically than female, even though we have more now, right? And Remy is the one that's being embraced. Jadakiss, Fat Joe, right? On the float with Ja Rule. On a song with French Montana, MXB. They could have hit anybody up, right? They could have hit a third man up. They hit a woman up, Remy Ma, and said, yo, let's do a BX and hop on this. Cardi B's from the BX. French Montana could have reached out to her, but they wanted Remy for that particular look. So how is it that Remy is the powerhouse? Lifetime movie, seemingly the better rap connections. She was on Fat Joe and Jadakiss's podcast. She's on the Nick's Parade float, right? She's dropping new singles. And then you look at Papoose, where's his real like alliances, right? Claressa was like, oh man, every rapper bows down when they meet him. Yeah, all right. Papoose is like, he's a big draw in Africa or whatever. The tribes worship him. But what about here in the States? What about New York? They're dissing you on a banger ever since you left me, and they're playing it in the Garden at the Knicks game, the team that you like. I mean, all this stuff has to hurt, and you're married to her. And then you got Claressa acting a buffoon. There's no comparison. You're closer in age with Remy, so I just know based on that, you probably have a lot more in common. Like, for example, I'm not going to overly stress people's age gaps. If it works for you, it works for you. But let's be real. Part of why finding someone closer to your age can make more compatibility is because they have similar upbringings a lot of times. Like when I've dated girls that are within a year of my age, we watch the same TV shows. We grew up on the same cartoons. We played with the same toys. We remember this era. We remember this style of dress, right? We went to school together, all those things. And that could be important versus Papoose. He would have been graduated well before Claressa Shields was even in high school, given their age gap. And then on top of it, I can maybe get with it if you get with a younger girl that's a supermodel and acts mature. But Claressa Shields is not a supermodel, right? And most importantly, she definitely don't act mature for her age. I'm not even being funny, but I highly doubt that has been a remark anybody has ever made that, hey, Claressa Shields, she's mature for her age. I mean, look how she acts in the rants and cussing people out, calling people out you have no intentions of fighting, and saying you'll fight. It's like you're begging for validation. You're begging for acceptance. You've been bullied your whole life outside of when you started boxing and learned to defend yourself. And now, you know, the internet, you feel they're bullying you because you've picked up bad habits, bad traits, and you have a nasty character, very mean-spirited. And now you think, oh, I'm big, I'm making money, looking down on people. So you're trying to fight back and rant back, but you're just devastating your own career. Live streaming can be tough, which is why I use StreamYard. Click the link in the description for StreamYard, which is an awesome tool that enables you to set up your stream with ease of use. Get great results with live streaming. It's what I use. Stream to social media with ease with StreamYard. Live streaming is here to stay. Engage with your audience using StreamYard. Great way to reach out to your audience and connect. So you need a tool that can do that. If you're new to YouTube and you're struggling to get views, one tool I can provide to you is TubeBuddy. I've been on YouTube over 10 years. I use TubeBuddy daily to crank out videos just like this one that you're watching. Learn how the pros do it with TubeBuddy. YouTube receives a lot of traffic, which also means a lot of creators, a lot of people putting out content. So you need to learn the ropes so you know how to separate yourself, especially if you're new. But even if you're a pro, use TubeBuddy. The link is in the description. Get more views, more subscribers, and a higher click-through rate, so ultimately you can realize all of your online goals. Use my affiliate link in the description and grow your channel fast. Speaking of lack of maturity, Claressa has absolutely none, zero impulse control, right? She feels the need to explain, justify, elaborate on some of the most simplistic things. And I just feel that's not the behavior of someone who's as confident as she likes to portray. Because for me, I don't explain nothing. Like if I like pizza and someone's like, don't eat that, pizza's bad for you. F you, kiss my ass. I like what I like. You don't have to like what I like. If you don't like pizza and you have your own reasons and it's not part of your diet, cool. But if I want to occasionally treat myself to pizza, I don't care what people think. And I'm not going to do live streams because I posted a pizza and I was eating it and people said, hey, why are you eating pizza? I don't really care, especially on some internet stuff. The only one I would even remotely care about an opinion of is someone that's in my inner circle or family that I actually care what they think. You know what I mean? So Claressa, she cares too much. She posted this. Claressa is pushing back after online rumors suggested she had been banned from boxing. Again, where's this even coming from? Nobody suggested that. But anyway, Claressa says, facts. All those troll pages and bot pages, how you gonna announce a fight? You must have forgot you are banned. And she put it in quotes. Name the YouTuber that left that particular quote that's of any level of stature, right? Who said she was permanently banned from boxing? Never was I banned from boxing, sillies. See y'all August 15th. Again, this is why it doesn't even make sense to argue with people like this, because they're making up their own talking points. This whole narrative of YouTubers and bloggers were heavily saying she was banned from the whole of boxing is grossly inaccurate. I didn't see anybody really say that, right? The only thing people said was the actual truth. You got banned from most valuable promotions, MVP events, because you assaulted Alicia Baumgartner. So however you're trying to spin this into, hey, I'm not banned from all of boxing, I got to fight. Whoop-de-doo. Who said you were banned from boxing entirely? Again, this is what Claressa Shields does. I need you guys to take notes. So when you see it in the future, you be like, Ego was right. She's doing it again. Nurse, she's loose, right? And that's calling out things that nobody really said. Calling people a liar, but not even mentioning what they lied about. Be specific. I do videos that range. This video is over an hour. Imagine if I was trying to talk for an hour, show no receipts, not elaborate and use my big boy words and speak like an adult, and I was just making all these wild speculations and, oh, everybody's lying on me and Claressa is this and that, and I wasn't showing you what I'm talking about. Like when I brought up the point about FaceshotLiaa, I showed you my interview with her. I showed you her profile picture showing you that is common knowledge. Her name is Miss BTA, right? Claressa will never do that. And I believe the reason she'll never do that is because she's lying. And the moment you start using specifics, that's when the lie starts to crumble. So again, you guys got to hold everybody, including me, to a standard. If people say it, make them show you receipts to it. What YouTuber said you were banned from boxing? Because you keep saying that, right? So all in all, she blocked FaceshotLiaa after calling her out. Remy's winning, and Dumb and Dumber, Papoose and Claressa seem to be losing time and time again. And it just, so many things going wrong. Now you have baddies fighting on the undercard. This looks pathetic. We unpacked.